Hi Cantor, welcome back to the Astrology 33 channel. This is your August 2025 tarot reading. Thank you to those of you who have liked, viewed, shared, and subscribed to the channel. I appreciate all of that. For those of you new to the channel, swords will be in front of us. It's a Celtic cross spread as always, and I also pulled the 4 agreements and Wisdom of the Oracle card for you guys. We're actually going to start the reading off at Roll Nose Astrology items we have in front of us to get an idea of where your focus should be as far as that goes. Alright, we have Venus. So Venus is actually still in Gemini right now, but at the very end of July, it'll be moving into your sign, and then it'll be there until the 25th, I believe, of August. So yeah, it'll be moving from your 12th house into your first house, and then eventually into your second house. All right, we have 4, so 4th house energy for you guys is Libra. Now we actually will have Mars moving into Libra early in August, like right at the end of the first week, basically. And in general, 4th house energy points to home, roots, family, so you could be putting more focus toward that area of life this month. And we have Virgo. So yeah, so currently Mars is still in Virgo. Of course, we'll be in Virgo season around the 22nd of August. It's going to be a new moon right after that. But yeah, for you guys, Virgo energy does point to your 3rd house of communication, and I do see Virgo energy in the main spread as well. So yeah, we'll keep all that in mind as we go through the main spread. In the main situation position, we have the Knight of Pentacles, so there's Virgo energy I was talking about. And then challenging that, we have the Empress. So what I'm seeing with this could just be saying that for some of you, this seems like the more likely scenario out of what I'm seeing, given what I see in the past position. So for some of you, this could just be saying that you might need to come forward and actually be a little bit proactive as far as extending an offer around the situation. But the challenge could be you've just been trying to be in more of an energy of receptivity and hoping for that offer to come your way. So that could be how it's playing out for some of you. But for others of you, I will say, if you truly have been hoping for an offer to come your way, I feel like you would have to intuitively tune in to see if you've truly been open to it, because it could just be saying that what might have been holding that offer back from coming your way could have been that you were feeling as though you were actually open around the situation, but you weren't as open as you thought. But yeah, like I said, given some of the surrounding cards, it seems more likely to be the first scenario. But it could be either of those. In the foundation position, we have the King of Cups. So yeah, so this is Scorpio energy here. And in this context, could just be saying that maybe you were feeling a little bit isolated, right? But it also could have been because you were very particular about how you wanted things to go, right? So it could just be one of those things where you could have been a little bit set in your ways around the situation, and that could have been what contributed to the isolation to an extent. In the past position, we have the Three of Wands. So yeah, so this is part of why I was saying it seems a little bit more likely that you guys might have been waiting for an offer to come your way, and then seeing it not coming through could have been causing a little bit of frustration for you. And if that's the case, then yeah, I would say definitely the only difference there would be that you would just have to be a little bit more proactive to actually help the situation come your way. All right. In the present position, we have the Star. So this is the major arcana card for Aquarius. And to see this here actually does say to me that at least for some of you, you might have already come to that realization. So maybe that's why that Knight of Pentacles is coming out in the upright, saying that, yeah, you might actually be being more proactive around the situation and, let's say, extending an offer to someone, right? So given that that's a 3rd house energy, it could just be as simple as reopening lines of communication with someone, right? If you had a falling out with them, right? So maybe that could get the ball rolling in the direction of getting the connection back on track. Or if it is someone you're interested in but haven't spoken to, right? It could be as simple as you being the first to open the lines of communications, things along those lines there. But, like I said, it looks like for some of you might have gone through a bit of a rough stretch, maybe because you reached that point of frustration with the offer or the situation you wanted not coming your way, and then you might have come to the realization already that, yeah, you know what, I might have to be a little bit more proactive in making it happen. In the near future position, we have the Five of Wands. So this is actually Leo energy right here, represents the first 10 degrees of Leo. So I will say the only exception to what I'm seeing here, it could just be saying that the last week of July into very early August might, be a bit of a bumpy ride. So if you do need to communicate with someone, maybe that wouldn't be the ideal time to do it. Um, but yeah, what I'm seeing with this, either way, even if this does lead to some kind of a conflict to an extent, it looks like it would be relatively short-lived because this is just a minor arcana card, and we have a lot of court cards and major arcana in the spread, so it could just be a blip on the radar. So yeah, maybe this is as simple as if you needed to clear the air with someone for a long time, right? And you've just been holding it back. You've wanted to clear the air, but haven't gotten around to it. Could just be saying that yeah, even if it leads to a brief conflict in a moment, right? It could just be what's needed to clear the air and move forward. All right. In the position of your influence in a situation, we have the Queen of Swords. So this is Libran energy here, and this is an energy that does represent balance. So yeah, for some of you, again, like I said, I feel like you do realize the majority of you have come to the realization that okay, I feel like you're being realistic now, at least as far as coming to the understanding that yeah, maybe you have given more in the situation, and then in that case, it would be okay to be more open and receptive to the balance being restored in your favor. But on the flip side of that, if you're going to be realistic as well and realize that, okay, yeah, maybe I haven't put as much into the situation as I could or as much as I'd expect in return. And then in that case, that would lead to you being a bit more proactive around doing so. In the environment position, we have the sun. So I would say that this ultimately shows me that you do have like a lighthearted energy around the situation as well. So I feel like you really do want to see things turn out in a positive manner. And then the interesting thing here is if this represents someone else, given that this is an energy of what's in the environment, could just be saying so again, like we said, if this is around getting a relationship off the ground, right? But you're both in this energy of, oh yeah, it'll work itself out, right? And then that could be one of those things where then it becomes a stuck energy because if both parties are feeling like, oh, it'll work itself out, then who's going to actually finally come forward and take the action to do it? In the hopes or fears position, we have the King of Pentacles. So yeah, I mean, just given the energy of this card in general, I'm going to assume this is more of a hope for you guys. So yeah, and seeing this with the Knight of Pentacles as well, could just be saying that, yeah, maybe for some of you, this is more of a financially motivated decision that you have on your hands. But I feel like if that's the case, it still seems like you might have to be a little bit more willing to speak up around the situation. So whether it's, maybe applying for a promotion or asking for a raise, things along those lines there. All right, and in the outcome position, we have the Lovers. So this is the major arcana card for Gemini. And yeah, to see this here could definitely represent balance being restored around the situation. And sometimes also things being worked out behind the scenes. But I feel like ultimately what this is pointing to in this regard is finding that balance, right, between the masculine and feminine energy. So like knowing when to be more action oriented and when to be more open and receptive, right, and letting things come to you. I feel like that's ultimately what this has been about for you guys. Maybe you've been trying to figure out that delicate balance, and this looks like it's saying that you are getting closer to doing so. All right, bottom of the deck, we have the Four of Cups. So yeah, so this is actually a Cancerian energy here, so this could just be saying that you guys have been feeling this energy already, right? Where maybe things have been coming your way, but they just haven't been things that you've wanted ultimately, right? So that could be the difference, where it's like, okay, I can keep staying here and continue to get things that I don't want, or be more proactive, and then that could actually help expedite the process to getting toward the things I do want. All right, from the Four Agreements deck, we have Don't Make Assumptions, and it says, say goodbye to sadness and drama. Right? It says, all the sadness and drama you have lived in your life was rooted in making assumptions and taking things personally. The whole world of control between humans is based on that. Take a moment and consider this. So definitely an interesting message there. It sounds a little dramatic on one hand, but yeah, maybe for some of you this could just be pointing to what could have potentially happened there, right? Like I said, if this was around, maybe you had a falling out with someone, right? Maybe there were some assumptions on your part that could have led to the situation becoming bigger than it needed to be. Maybe they were involved in those same assumptions as well, right? So could be both parties are at fault to that extent as far as that goes, but could just be saying at the same time that, once you come to that understanding that, okay, maybe this was something I did get blown out of proportion, whether it was you, the other person, or both, right? But this could be a good opportunity to clear the air if that's the case. All right. And from the Wisdom of the Oracle, we have cleaned it up. There's the artwork. The number is 21. All right. Essential meanings says getting to the core of a situation, freedom from a burden, cleaning house, sweeping away what is no longer needed. The Oracle's message: ever feel so bogged down with emotional gunk that you can't think straight? Could you be surrounded by physical clutter in your house? Also, too much work? Overwhelmed? Time to clean house. Every item out of way natters away at you. Every unresolved resentment, every comparison to others that leads to a sense of lack takes up energetic space. Every unpaid bill just adds to an unnecessary feeling of being overwhelmed. Now is the time to free yourself by energetically cleaning house. Just do it. Make room for the miracles that are lining up for you. So yeah, definitely a positive message there. So for some of you, even if this was around just taking action, not necessarily toward another person, but just to maybe clear out some space within your own environment, right? Then hopefully that message resonated. The relationship message says, time to clear the air, take a look at your side of the street and say what's on your mind. Sweep away the old stuff so that a spring breeze can flow through with new energy. It's the perfect time to do an inventory of air dynamics and see what's yours and what's not yours to clean up the relationship. Everyone brings some baggage. Sort through what you brought with you and let go of what is no longer needed. Become unencumbered and your relationship will flourish. So yeah, definitely a positive message there as well, if this was around a relationship issue. And from the prosperity message, we have simple things like opening your mail, paying bills, sorting out your timetable, making lists, and getting organized is what this symbol means when it comes to your work. Make time for yourself too. This card is a sign that you may be overburdened and overwhelmed. It's okay to say no. You'll prosper even more if you do. So yeah, definitely a positive message there as well. If you have been more action oriented, right, and you have been overwhelming yourself, and then that would go back to what we were saying with the Queen of Swords energy, where, like I said, it seems like you'll be realistic with yourself to say, okay, have I been the one putting in too much in the situation and not getting enough back, or is it the other way around, right, where I've been waiting for the other person to carry most of the weight, and then finding that proper balance between the two, which could be what the Lovers and the Outcome is about. So, hope whatever resonated for you guys. We're up there, and I'll see you all next month. All right, bye.